10 o'clock. Director Brader, has the meeting been properly noticed?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, we have one request for public comment from James Gallant. Mr. Gallant, you have 2 minutes.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Good morning.
Okay, good morning. I submitted a written comment to you with some attachments, and I'd ask you to please consider.
Director Brader, did we receive a written comment?
Looks like there was an email that was sent at 9:54 a.m. We have not had a chance to review that.
Perhaps, Mr. Gallant, we can review that prior to our next meeting. Are you there?
Yes, okay, are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. I'm asking for a special meeting so that we can get a formal request to Dana Nessel to review her Open Meetings Act manual that says that Robert's Rules is not necessarily required at public meetings. But under the Secretary of State had determined in 2020 that the Michigan Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission, that it is required under the Constitution and they must follow Robert's Rules of Order. And it is motion first, second, discussion, and vote. And that was the instructions of Mike Brady and the Secretary of State. So if she reviews her manual, that's false information now. It has now been, the Secretary of State has determined that Robert's Rules of Order is required. And that's all, and their orientation material I provided to you also. It's in there. It explains all about it. It's called the House of Representatives. It is common law in our country. And you had that one lawyer that said parliamentary law doesn't apply here because you're not a parliamentary body, except there's chapters in the Michigan Mason's rules about parliamentary law, and it is a category of common law of this country and the way we do it in our government. And that's the way you should be doing it here. And I'd ask you to please help resolve this, because then we won't have to be, going to court and doing all that. Okay, Madam Chair, because this is important and people are out here and they don't stand a chance. They seem hopeless, and I seem hopeless at this meeting with you being the chair and not following the rules and just making stuff up on the fly. Like the 3-minute rule. What'd you do at 2 minutes? How'd you do 2 minutes? You changed the rule and you didn't even vote. So you just kind of said, well, you're just going to change it. That's like Marxist style communism and the consensus building.
Okay, Mr. Gallant, we did not receive your written submission until just a few minutes before the meeting started, so we will review it prior to our next meeting. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is
Chair, so please, on the agenda at next meeting. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's not a special meeting. We can do another special meeting with a public hearing. That would be great.
We have.
Thank you. I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Mr. Gallant, your time is up, and as I said,
right.
we'll review your written submission.
Okay, on the record at the next meeting, right? On the record at the next meeting, review it and then do it by the records and follow.
The next item on the agenda is consideration of the meeting minutes for the October 20th, 2023 meeting. Do we have a motion?
Yes.
I move that we accept the meeting minutes from the October 2023 meeting.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, the motion carries. I should note for the record that Member Bradshaw was unable to attend this morning. Okay, the next item on the agenda is consideration of the sufficiency of the recall petition submitted by Daniel Lawless against Kelly Breen. The reason for recall printed on the petition is on April 13th, 2023, State Representatives Kelly Breen voted yes on Michigan House Bill 4145, creating the Extreme Risk Protection Order Act, i.e. red flag law. Mark Brewer has asked to speak to this agenda item. Mr. Brewer, good morning.
Good morning. Mark Brewer of Goodman Acker on behalf of Representative Kelly Breen. I will be brief. You have my written submission, and we have made these arguments before, but we still believe they are valid. That this petition is neither factual nor clear, because Representative Breen did not vote on the original version of House Bill 4145. She voted on a significantly amended version, and we believe that the petition should so indicate, and that the petition should also give a potential signer information about the content of the bill. That's particularly important here since this bill went through at least 7 versions. But with that, I will incorporate by reference my prior remarks on similar petitions. And again, you have our written submission making all these arguments. With that, I'd be glad to take any questions.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Brewer?
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board.
Mr. Brewer,
Oh, Mr. Brewer?
the final amended version though still had the red flag law in, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Stated, we don't think that label is accurate at all. And we've made a presentation to this board on that issue before. Thank you.
Thank you. Any discussion?
My only discussion would be, I always appreciate Mr. Brewer coming up and advocating on behalf of his clients. Sometimes I end up agreeing, sometimes I don't. Ultimately, this language is exact same as what we have previously approved on a number of recall petitions, and I would see no reason to change my position of being in support of determining sufficiency. So
There's no one here from Mr. Lawless. Is not here. The gentleman. that-
No one else has asked to speak. Do we have a motion?
Yeah, I'd make a motion. I move that the Board of State Canvassers determine that the reasons for recall printed on the petition submitted by Daniel Lawless against Kelly Breen on October 23rd, 2023 are factual and sufficiently clear because they reflect the they reflect what we have previously voted on identical recall petitions within the past couple months.
support.
All in favor?
I
Okay, the motion carries. The next item on the agenda is any other business. Do we have any other business?
Okay, well, I can just give the board an update on some items that we discussed at the last meeting regarding some of the changes to the petition processing and some legislative proposals that the board is considering supporting. So we have sent out to some of the practitioners that have experience with the petition process, who the board was seeking advice from, some ideas for legislative proposals. So we've asked for them to give us feedback by that in the next few days. And then by the board's next meeting, we should be able to provide a proposed set of legislation for the board to consider supporting that will reflect the input of those stakeholders to make sure that they had time. And then also we are working on providing some additional written clarity on the staff process for reviewing petitions, which are some of the things that Mr. Doster was discussing. Those are not technically part of the process for determining whether there are enough valid signatures, but more about how the Bureau makes information available both to the proponents and to the challengers throughout the petition process. So we're going to, we agree that it makes sense to put a lot of that in writing. So we're working on that, and we will have that available for the board to review and discuss prior to its next meeting.
Thank you.
I've reached out to Adam on this. I have occasionally friends who are in this world who will ask for like where's the most recent and up-to-date version of petition manual, and that if I point them towards the website at this point, that is current and correct.
Yeah, we've put the new version up. Yes.
Okay.
It's up to date. Yes.
Thank you.
Is there any legal update? I know there that you're busy, but I don't know that we're defendants in any of the current litigation.
You are defendants in the Graziano.
In
versus Board-
I should not ignore Mr. Brewer's recently filed.
Oh, that's true. We could,
Yeah.
yes, as I sent you the emails the other week, Raise the Wage did file their complaint in the Supreme Court, so we'll have an answer due on that in the middle towards the end of November. Also, you may not recall, but the Graziano versus Board of State Canvassers case is a committee to brand fracking case, and that was really more of a jurisdictional question and also a challenge to the freshness statute for signatures. And the Supreme Court, it's been sitting at the Supreme Court for a while, and this court did schedule that for oral argument in December. So there shouldn't be much more discussion than the jurisdictional issues there, but so that will be coming up for argument in December. And we'll see how long it takes to get, answers from there. And I think that's about it of interest at the moment.
Thank you. Anybody have any further business? Okay, it is. Okay, well, adjourn the meeting at 10:11.